so it should dog, imagine a pet eating, and here's the invalid pet. Comes try to steal some food.
Keep those valid there.
Oh, whatever one's in closer range is whatever.
The way we figured it, if the other dog's trying to get to the food, he's going to be going
the other one away.
push the other one out of the way. And
Not a whole lot of room there. I guess that's true.
You would actually have to, the pet owner would actually have to, again, override the system.
well, there is a lid to the system where you could just pull up and take the dog food out. And
You're not there anymore. You've just lost power to the house.
in that case, maybe we can incorporate some battery backup system. And
Or would you have it fail open? The bowl fails.
well, the bowl opens off the power of the motor. If the motor has no power, there's no way for it to
Well,
open.
I think the question is, if it fails, would the power fails, would it automatically lift open?
If the power failed, then we could program it to where the lid automatically opens. However, we've run into issues with the food being distributed to the bowl. So as Bill was talking about, we'd have to incorporate a battery that would be able to run the auger system, and the lid, we could have it to where it failed open, so it would draw less
So
less power.
a battery backup.
Battery backup, yes, sir.
It also took into account the actual build of the pros and cons we had for each slide. We took that into account, and that's what made it clear for us. Yes, so our spider graphs were based off that Excel chart of the design rankings. So we put that there instead of the spider graphs.
But did you footnote that you weren't going to use a spider graph, that you were going to a design ranking? You just presented it. I was looking for a spider graph because that's the requirements of the course, but I didn't see it.
As far as I knew, it wasn't a requirement. I mean, I saw it in the grading, the evaluation, but as far as we knew, the equivalent to a spider graph was the design ranking.
Well, I liked your design chart better than a spider graph because I could actually see.
That's
And
why
that
we
was
put that there.
that was an issue we had. A lot of our spider graphs look really similar, so to transpose them onto one graph would be fairly difficult. Because we got that comment too. A lot of our spider graphs look fairly similar.
Yeah, there's not huge differences on between I think it's 4 and 5, I believe. So the spider graph, if you're sitting there, you sitting there wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So that's why we chose the design ranking, because it's numbers. You can just visually see the difference in the numbers. So.
That was actually in the chart. Underneath, you see the dog bone chart. There is a source on there. We can go back if you'd like to see. I forget what it is, but
It's the APPA, the
APPA.
American. We can.
Well,
like
what
some-
I'm leading up to is that, when you took English 101, they basically say, when you footnote something, you have to give a lot of data. What page, what paragraph. And you gave me a blanket organization, but you didn't give me a specific where that data came from.
that actually is information that's in the report that we have. We didn't present it with presentation, but it is in the report.
Okay, thank you.
It's the American Pet Products Association. I'm sorry, that's what it is.
As engineers, we all know is that detail is our life. When you present something, you got to prove what you said.
Actually, the product actually stemmed from myself actually having I have 2 pugs, the black one and the fawn, and so one of the pets, the black one, she can't control her diet. She'll eat both portions. So the product actually stemmed from controlling. Sometimes, I mean, maybe in your case, only one of the animals can't control themselves the way they eat. So
all 3 of mine are. They're all lambs. They'll eat as long as there's food in front of them.
So in this case, the 2, and also the reason we went with 2 is most of the people we surveyed at the dog parks and at PetSmart and was it Petco and the vet, actually had 2 pets. So with our survey, we actually we found that most people have 2 pets.
And also on the market, they're only designed to feed 1 pet, and we thought we could take it even a step above and feed 2 pets, so,
Maybe drop the price in half.
and drop the price in half. So we were really improving on also what's on the market, and including to what we found from our survey.
I would encourage you to do some testing with large dogs. Mine are over 80 pounds, and will probably.
Well, it
They
wasn't-
probably will, but we marketed our product specifically to animals 50 pounds and under.
Okay.
That way.
Half of
Yes.
it is work functional, the other half is just visual. Oh, there you go.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
There's a cutout that's below the lid so that the food can enter the bowl.
But presumably, if the big dog stuck his nose in there, closed on his nose, he'd be surprised enough to back out.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's why we have a 4-second closing time and a 5-pound stall force, just in case the dog stays there, it won't crush his face
Okay.
or snout.
On the prototype, actually, we mounted the programming unit inside of the enclosure. On our production unit, it'd be mounted right on the front, so they'd have easy access for any pet owner to get to. But due to the fact that we actually purchased the auger feeding system from a company online, we just mounted their timer inside the unit. As far as for the lid, all the RFID is mounted directly to the side of this. The motor sits right here, and then the RFID sits just inside of the enclosure here. And of course, the RFID reader, as you can see, sits right here. And we actually had to make a cutout of this steel because we found out that it wouldn't read through the steel. However, we did a test, and we actually have a piece of plastic in here, so it'll read through the plastic. But as far as the components, they're directly right here, and that's part of what we utilize the extra space, as you can see from the models, is because the hoppers didn't take the whole space of this enclosure, and we utilize that space for all our programming.
And if you're asking about the actual programming for these tags to work right, there's this wonderful company, these 2 wonderful companies, Parallax and EFX Tech. Jeremy and I both researched, and they provide this program kind of similar to PSpice for those who've used, electronic programming software, kind of like MATLAB for electrical stuff. And we were able to find a lot of helpful resources to learn how to get that reader to read these tags and do what we want it to do. So we downloaded, Jeremy mentioned it in the presentation, it's called Basic Stamp. And that's where Jeremy in the group and I all went in there and manipulated it and had it do what we want to do. It was really neat. Learned a lot from it.
Inside.
Inside?
Yeah.
What keeps you from taking it outside?
Nothing really other than,
Well, I see a problem with possibly weather and infestations with bugs, and unless we have everything tightly sealed, and that always becomes a problem with that sorts. Well, it's 2 or 3 of our beds.
Oh, the vet?
Yeah, these are
Okay.
actually our bed, yeah. Yeah, we actually, with the black pug, he put her on a diet, so that's when the project was started to stem from.
Oh, we put all that information in the table. It was in the table. The results were in the table. We didn't show the FEA itself. We just showed the results in the table.
That's why I missed it.
And we actually did test this out with an actual live dog. We sold it out in a dog, and after some finagling, we got to actually eat out of the bowl, and it's shown in the poster. You can see
Yeah,
it.
he's a little nervous having everybody watch him, but it shows there on the left-hand side, he's eating from the bowl. He has the authorized tag, and on the right-hand side, there's the unauthorized pony and Henry, and they can't get into the bowl because both the tags are there. So until the other one goes away, then Henry can eat.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.